Summit at GE's Global Research Center in Niskayuna, New York. We're here with Jeff Burnstein, the president of the Robotic Industries Association, which looks to advance robotics and automation in manufacturing and service industries. So thanks for joining us today, Jeff.
Thank you, Mike.
So today, you talked about whether robotics is kind of ready for its starring role in these industries. What are some of the highlights that you shared with?
Well, I talked about the advances in the industrial robotics space, where we're seeing new types of products like collaborative robots that are working side by side with people, which is a new development that didn't exist. Talking about mobility, talking about advances in sensing and artificial intelligence, which are giving robots more capability inside of factories as well as outside. Very different kind of environment from 30 years ago when I got involved in robots, which was the first time that people talked about this being a new industrial revolution. There was a lot of disappointment. The technology wasn't ready, perhaps, for its starring role, and people in the industry kind of soured on robotics for a while. Today, here we are, all this attention again, all this interest, all this government money, all this venture capital money, and I think we're probably a lot closer to being ready for the big stage now.
So that's interesting. So there's so many things that are happening all at once, it seems like, with improved computing, smaller processors, just a lot of things happening to come together. What are you most excited about in robotics today?
Well, I think one of the things I'm most excited about is this idea that people and robots are working side by side. That the robots are doing things that they're good at, and that the people can do things that they're good at. So, for instance, we talk about taking people out of dull and dirty and dangerous tasks. That's a great application for a robot. But also heavy things. You're lifting things that maybe the robot could lift, and you would be able to use your brain for more things, for instance. I'm really excited about those kinds of applications.
So how do you see those evolving, say, in the next 5 years? What was it going to look like?
Yeah, well, what it currently looks like is about 50% of the robot applications in the United States are in the automotive industry and automotive component suppliers. Well, we want to see robots used in every industry, and they are to some extent. But really, with the prices coming down, with the capabilities going up, with the ease of use increasing, we're going to see more and more robots in small and medium-sized companies, not just big companies. And what that is going to be driven by is the need to stay globally competitive. Everybody around the world is using robots to compete, to create more opportunities for their companies, to create new and better jobs, and this is the way to win in the global marketplace.
So you just mentioned it, and some other folks that we've talked to today have talked about improvements in machine learning and computer vision systems that are needed for this to happen. With all these sort of obstacles that still exist, where do you see it evolving in, say, the next 2 decades?
Joe Engelberger, who unfortunately passed away last week, is the pioneer of the robotics industry. He's known throughout the world as the father of robotics, and he said, never make a prediction that's less than 50 years out, so that you want to be sure you're not alive to see if it was accurate or not. So with that caveat, I will talk about what I see in 20 years. One of the more exciting developments and one of the most needed developments is elder care. We have a lot of people, obviously, in nursing homes and assisted living facilities who would rather be in their homes. And the technologies today really aren't to the point where we can keep people in their homes with robots. I don't think we're going to see multi-use robots doing everything, cooking, cleaning, carrying us around the house. I think we're going to see individual robots doing elements of that. This robot might go fetch you something. Another robot might help you move from the chair to your bed or to the bathroom. There might be sensors in the bathroom to let people know if you fall or if you're sick. So I think we're going to get more to a robotic connected way of doing elder care. This is really needed with the aging population, not just in the U.S., but throughout the world. That I'm really excited about because I'm going to be in that aging generation in 20 years. So that's what I'm hopeful for.
So what are the obstacles, technical, industry-wise, that are in the way to getting to that?
Oh,
right
a
now?
lot of obstacles. So you have mobility, you have grasping and manipulation, you have vision, as you mentioned. You have the fact that every home is different. It's not like a factory where you can design the factory to accommodate your process. Hey, my home's got stairs, yours doesn't. I've got children, you don't. There's toys around the house, and mine, you don't have that. So there's a lot of issues there. Payload. If I'm going to have a robot going to get me a drink, you better be able to open with enough force the refrigerator and carry the thing that I want. There's a lot of issues in getting ready to have home robots, which is why, frankly, that the only viable, commercially available home robot today is a vacuum cleaner.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff, for taking the time to talk to us. It's a lot of big things to come in the industry.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thank you, Mike.